Hi, my name is Rachel and I'm a librarian at the North Vancouver City Library. For this week's SRC STEAM video, we are going to focus on the theme for the week, which is Sun, Moon, and Stars. If you look at the moon, you'll see circular features with lines coming out from all sides. These circular features are called craters, and the line patterns are called rays. The craters and rays were created when material from outer space, such as meteorites, smash the surface of the moon, throwing out materials called ejecta. And the way that the ejecta lands on the surface create ray patterns. So today, we're going to make our own craters and take a look at the ejecta and ray patterns that we can create. You will need the following materials. Some sort of sifter, a cake pan or a casserole dish, something that's going to act as your moon surface. You'll need a spoon, cocoa powder, some white flour, some sprinkles, bigger sprinkles. I'm using confetti sprinkles, and a couple of rocks, which are going to be our impactors or meteorites. We're going to start by making the bottom layer of our moon surface by pouring an even layer of flour about an inch thick in our pan. You can then shake the pan to ensure that the surface is even. Next, we're going to put an even layer of sprinkles on top of the flour. It doesn't have to be too thick, but just some good even coverage. And the final layer of our moon surface will be an even sifted layer of cocoa. I highly recommend using a sifter so that you have an even layer and you don't disturb the lower layers of your moon surface. Now we're going to take our meteorites and simulate an impact on our moon surface. I recommend holding up at a reasonable height and maybe doing it off center so that there's enough space for trying out other impacts. Here we go. So now we're going to take a look at our ray patterns and our ejecta. So as you can see, that was a pretty big meteorite and it got pretty messy. You can see that it actually bounced out of the crater, which does happen in real life. Our ray patterns are interesting. They're mostly on one side. So you can see that it brought up some of the flour from the bottom and went to one side. There are probably some underneath the meteorite here as well, but it's being covered up. And you can see there's actually some sprinkles that have been brought out and thrown out from the crater. So this is indicative of what does happen in real life when a crater does hit the surface. It will throw ejecta out from multiple layers and throw it pretty far. Not all meteorites hit the surface at a perpendicular angle. Sometimes they come in from all different kinds of angles, so I'm going to try to simulate that with my second impactor. So, as you can see, my meteorite flew out of my surface and onto the floor. You can see that there's a really deep crater with that one. I must have chucked it pretty hard, and it brought up a lot of subsurface material. So there's rays now all over the surface. You can see that it even threw a couple of the sprinkles across the pie plates. So that was a very interesting one. It brought up much more surface material than the bigger rock. I think because it had more force, even though it was a much smaller and lighter meteorite, the force at which it came in and the angle at which it came in brought up far more material from the subsurface. You can try using different sizes and shapes of impactors and throwing them in at different angles and compare the ejecta and ray patterns. For more on week 4 of SRC, you can go to our website, nvcl.ca, to find some book recommendations and other activities on the planet, moon, and stars theme. We hope you enjoy this experiment. Please share if you do. Try this experiment at home. Thank you for watching.